Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rachel Cush, and today I wanted to give you guys a 1 month update of our basically stay at home kind of like self-quarantine. So a lot of you are probably watching this because you are also at home, and so I thought it would be uplifting to see how other people are kind of dealing with being at home and what they're doing to stay busy, and obviously just kind of what's been working for our family. So it's now April. We've been self-quarantining since the beginning of March. And so just a little bit of background. When I first heard about everything happening back in like late January, early February, I was very worried. And so we are already Costco shoppers because we don't love to go grocery shopping a million times a week. So we like to buy in bulk when at all possible. So I have been shopping at Costco, so our house is pretty stocked up. And in late February, early March, I decided that because we were also doing a year spend fast, that we were really going through a lot more groceries than we ever had been, so I was going to really stock up our pantry. So over the course of like February and early March, I just added a little bit of extra canned goods, some extra frozen meat to our freezer, and we just started stocking up like that. So we were very fortunate that that's kind of just the way things have been. We have two now 7-month-old twins, and so going to the grocery store a bunch is not really doable for us, as well as it's flu season and RSV season. And so with them being so young, we try not to, first of all, expose ourselves to a lot of stuff in the winter, and then also we've tried not to bring them around and expose them to stuff as well. So we were really stocked up when stuff started to get really bad here, and people were like stocking up and the grocery stores are starting to be empty. Now when we go to the grocery store, obviously there are things that we just can't find all the time, and so that's been a little more difficult, but we're thankful that we have a full pantry, and we've also been able to help like our neighbors out because there's only 2 of us, and we shop at Costco. When we buy toilet paper at Costco, we tend to end up with those like humongous family things that last us months and months. So we were fortunate enough to be able to give some of our neighbors toilet paper and stuff like that. So that was like a huge blessing. Like, we don't really mean to stock up. It's just that when there's only 2 people and you shop at Costco, you tend to have a lot of extra of everything. So that kind of worked in our favor and allowed us to help our neighbors. So we've basically just been, like I said, self-quarantining. Our state just did a stay-at-home orders, which nothing for us is really going to change because we haven't really gone anywhere except to the grocery store. In fact, 2 weeks ago, we got a stomach bug and we did a teledoc appointment instead of going to the doctors like we normally would. So we've been extra vigilant about staying home as much as possible, and that kind of brings me to just how life has changed for us. So basically, not a lot has changed. Like I said, we were shopping in bulk and less often since the babies have been born. Just having infants makes you a lot less, I feel like a lot less mobile, and it's just we don't want to, like I said, expose them during flu season, so we weren't going a ton of places anyways. Some of the biggest changes though are like just the feeling of being out in public when you have to go get groceries. Like, there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of like nervousness that I feel when I'm out. When I come home, I'm changing my clothes, I'm showering. That wasn't something I was doing before this all happened. So just going out when you have to go out has been a lot more stressful. And obviously, like, you know, you just feel like you can't be too careful. We're wiping our groceries down when they come back into the house. So that's another thing that obviously we didn't do before, but we're doing now. Takes an extra 4 or 5 minutes, but it gives me a little more peace of mind. Another thing that we have really tried to do during this quarantine, knowing that small businesses are closed, large businesses are closed, but corporate places and chains have a little bit, I think, an easier time with this because they have millions of stores to take revenue from, or millions of dollars of revenue a year, and are probably run, most of them, like really tightly. And they're probably not month to month like smaller businesses are. So one of the other things that we've made a conscious decision to do is that during this quarantine, that if we do take out and we do support a business, we are going to support small business. So anything that we've done takeout wise or have had delivered to the house has been from small businesses that we love, and if they are offering curbside pickup or touchless delivery, we've done that. And we're not eating out almost at all. I think we've had takeout one time a week, and then one week we had it twice. The last two things that have changed, besides how I feel about going out for groceries now and like being out in the world, and then obviously supporting local for takeout, is we no longer go to the dog parks or the public parks. We live in an apartment, so that is something that we used to do a lot, but now instead we just walk around our neighborhood and enjoy like strolls with the boys. We take them in the stroller, and we also get to baby wear them. So while we're not like utilizing the parks and stuff, we are still getting out into the sunshine, just in a different way. I am working from home 100% of the time. I used to work out of the house 1 day a week, and now just for meetings, and now I'm home 5 days a week for my job. And I will say that in the beginning of the winter, we were talking about whether Matt was going to go back to work or not, or if he was going to stay home with the boys. We were going to try it for a couple months, and then maybe he would go back and work part-time. But obviously with everything going on, that is probably actually the most dramatic change. It kind of just decided for us that right now Matt is going to stay home with the boys. He has a very customer-facing job. He manages guest services at golf courses, and so that's a person-to-person job where you would be seeing them. Right now in our state, the golf courses are still open, but they are basically on skeleton crew. They have very few tee times, and they're way spread apart, and then the staff is also like at a minimum. So it's not actually really an option for him to go back right now. I don't think that any course is technically hiring. The course that he was at would take him back, but I think also the people who are working there would lose hours, and he would probably feel bad about going back and displacing someone else's job. So yeah, that's actually one of the biggest things that kind of got decided for us. Right now, my husband is going to be a stay-at-home dad, and he's taking care of the boys while I work every day, and I appreciate it and love him so much for making that sacrifice for our family. And obviously once this is all over and we are out of our kind of like stay-at-home orders, we will consider, I think it'll be good for us to like look at it again and think, is this going well? Do you like what you're doing, or do you want to go back to work? But for right now, that's just not really in the cards for us. So that actually was a big life change. It kind of decided what we were going to do for us as we were kind of contemplating it ourselves. But right now he's really happy spending time with our babies, and I'm really happy that he's able to do that as well. Just because I work from home, that doesn't mean that I am able to give the boys my full attention all day. So if he was working, we would somehow still have to find childcare, which at this point has proved to be almost impossible to find a safe way to have our boys taken care of. So, like right now, that's what it has brought to our lives and brought to the table, and we're just here for it right now, and we're gonna roll with the punches. And all of our friends and family who, a lot of my friends and family are in New York, so we have been FaceTiming them from the start, but all of our local friends are now our FaceTime friends too. So that's another thing that has kind of like drastically changed. We don't get together with anybody, but we still get to visit with them for FaceTime, and so I'm super grateful for the technology we have to stay connected right now. So anyways, I wanted to just wrap that up and say, there have been a lot of big life changes, but we're kind of just rolling with it and trying to make the best of it, and understanding that, things are going to continue changing, and all we can do is really like pray for the people who are going through really sad times right now and hard times, and be thankful for what we have and understand that, you know, things are going to change back, and I don't know if they're going to be exactly the same or not, but in the meantime, we're just like adapting and trying to make the best of it as we go. I am going to film a follow-up to this video just to kind of run down things that we're doing inside of the house to keep busy. I know that a lot of people don't have the nice weather we have and don't have the ability to be going outside this much. So I really wanted to do a video on what we're doing while we're indoors. We obviously have a ton of time at the house now that we never had. We used to spend the weekends doing errands and stuff. So I've got a huge list of things that I've just been dabbling in or doing as like small projects, and I figured I would share that with you because I actually got a lot of ideas of what to do with my free time, like while I was home, from other people, like watching their like in quarantine blogs and understanding that like they're also just trying to find time, like the best way to use their time at home outside of like really taking some time to relax. And I hope you guys are doing that as well. Please take the time to take care of yourself, reach out to friends, get the support you need. And of course, like never be afraid to tell someone, hey, I need a friend, I need to talk, I need help. This isn't, you know, this isn't going well for me. I think a lot of people are in the same position. We've seen some big life changes, but I think there are people who are seeing even bigger life changes. And so, you know, if you need a friend, don't be afraid to reach out. And of course, you guys can always leave me a comment. I'd love to connect with you guys below. Anyways, thank you for checking in on our self-quarantine, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.